There are some stereotypes when it comes to guitar gear that some of us will carry on for years and years and years and ignorantly kind of dismiss anything that doesn't fall into exactly what we think is the right piece of gear. In the case of guitar amplifiers, I prefer tube amps. They're primarily what I use. They provide a feel, a sound, and an experience that I greatly generally prefer over a solid state solution. But upon high praise and recommendation from players that I really respect, today we're going to be checking out a solid state amplifier that might change my mind and potentially change yours as well. The Laney Super 60 Lionheart Foundry. Coming in at just over $600, you do get a lot for your money with this amplifier, at least on paper. It's a 1x12 combo with 2 channels, a dedicated boost that'll work on either channel, dark or a bright switch. You also have onboard reverb, onboard tremolo, and onboard chorus. Now the tremolo and the chorus, you have to pick between one. You can't use them both at the same time. On the back of the amplifier, you're supplied with an effects loop. You also have 2 foot switch inputs. If you want to use just one of them so you can switch between channels, that'd be pretty sufficient. But if you want more control over the effects, that's what the second one is for. You can also jam along with backing tracks, your favorite songs, using the aux in. And lastly, something I don't often see on amplifiers in this price range, a true XLR out. And what makes this special is you do have 3 options. One that's going to send just a direct signal with no speaker emulation on it. One that's going to emulate a 1x12 cabinet, and another that's going to do a 4x12. Before we start with the Les Paul on the Clean channel, I have to shout out the people that made today's video possible. It actually wasn't Laney. Laney had nothing to do with the production of this, and they have no idea that this is being made. I picked this out on my own because Zounds, this awesome online retailer for all things gear related, were willing to let me borrow this when I requested it, so I can make some videos for you guys and give you my thoughts, and also just for my own kind of personal curiosity, see if this is something that I'm really interested in. So it's really important that if you end up enjoying today's video or other videos where Zounds have been kind enough to let me borrow it to make for you guys, to support Zounds. I left a link in the description to Zounds' website where you'll be able to check out what they have on offer. Now, let's get started with the Gibson. We're going to be using the Clean channel with the volume on 4. All the EQs as of right now are at noon. There's no reverb or any other effects being engaged from the amplifier. Starting off with the bridge pickup here on the Les Paul. That's really pretty. Let's introduce a little bit of the reverb. We'll start with really conservative 3. Five. I'm using the wrong guitar, but we'll see if it surfs a little bit. Right now we're at 8 on the reverb. Let's check out the boost channel. So far I'm pretty impressed with the clean tones. This is our bass line. Boost is at 3. Now we're at 6. Really pushing, now we're at 8. Awesome. On the clean channel, we only had one dedicated control knob, and that's for the volume. On the lead channel, we have 2. One for the gain, one for the volume. The volume's going to stay at 4, just like we had it on the clean channel, and we'll introduce more gain as we go along. However, we're going to start with the gain right above 3 o'clock. So. Now it's at 6. Sounds good. Now let's turn the gain up a little bit. Right around 7. That's already a fair amount of gain, and we don't have the boost on. Now let's max it out. Wax it out. We're going to go to 10 here. Let's go ahead now and give it a try with some boost. All right, I rolled back the gain from 5, just a reminder of our baseline tone without the boost. Seven. thought the bright switch was on there. It's not. That's actually at neutral. Let's go turn it to dark before we turn it up anymore. Dime. Now the boost is on 10. The gain on the lead channel is still at 5. Push the gain now on the channel itself up to 8. This is already way out of my wheelhouse. That is so much gain! I'm not going to go further than that. We only had a little bit left to go. The lead channel gain was at 8 there. If we pushed it to 10, that's crazy. A lot of amplifiers that do gain, you consider buying or using an overdrive pedal in front of it. I don't think you need to do that with this one. You buy the foot switch. If you want that extra kind of oomph to it, that craziness, that over the top, just super hairy and just like, it makes you smile, that sort of gain. It's all in the amp itself. So let's go ahead now. I'm going to switch to the Yamaha and we're going to try out some more clean tones and really try out some of the time-based effects that come along with it as well as the modulation. Neck pickup. Cool, sounds pretty good with single coils as well. Let's go ahead and try out some of the effects, starting off with the tremolo. Both parameters functions are at 4, so the speed and the intensity. Let's see kind of where that goes. Go to the bridge pickup split. Added some reverb, and by some I mean a lot. Let's go for a little bit more of an extreme sound. I'm going to dime the reverb and increase the speed. The intensity is still at 6, and we're going to put the speed up there as well. Go to the neck pickup. Now those are with pretty extreme settings, but if we dime out the intensity, just do the same thing real quick. I won't play the whole riff again. I knew I said I was going to play something a little quick, but it sounds great. Let's go ahead now, dial everything back a little bit, including the reverb. We're going to turn the reverb to 1, so it's barely on. Now let's check out the Spatial Chorus. That sounds so good. So I like the tremolo so much that I was using the vibrato to try and recreate a little bit there with that last riff. That sounds really strong, even with the intensity only at 3, so I can only imagine we leave the speed exactly where it's at. If we push the intensity to 6 here, we're going to be getting some gnarly sounding stuff. Now we're going to do some quick DI sound examples using the 1x12 and the 4x12 cabinets. I'm not going to be using any third-party IRs. Now let's try in a lead channel with some gain. I know I didn't go through as many sounds with the Yamaha as I did with the Gibson because I felt like I was really going to be dragging the video out at that point, but there were a lot of things I wanted to test with this because it does so much. From the IR out, all the different effects that come with it, engaging the boost because that drastically changes the character of an amplifier. It takes it from, you know, really classic style gain and even pushing it once you really start diming the lead channel into like, yeah, over the top territory. And I think like the thing that I'm most impressed with this is that there wasn't anything that I felt like, oh, this sounds cheap or this feels like cheap. And sometimes like the problem I have with multi-effects units, whether it's budget like pedal interface thing or amplifier that does like 90 different effects and all sorts of stuff like that, is there's always a compromise somewhere, and there's always like a few really good sounds, but it's kind of lost in the ether sometimes. And what I like about the straightforward approach with this, there are 2 effects outside of the reverb. That's it. You find stuff you like, you go from there. There's a lot more versatility, in my opinion, at least usability-wise, on the Tremolo than there is on the Spatial Chorus. But on the Spatial Chorus, there are like 3 really awesome sounds, in my opinion. The overall sound of the amp is great. The highlight by far is just the gain. it sounds and it feels fantastic. It really does. For clean players, it's absolutely good enough to get the job done. And that's not an insult. Like, that's good, because there's some amps I'm like, oh, the clean on this is not ideal. They were clearly focusing all their energy onto the actual drive section of it. But from jazz to anywhere from pop to modern styles of music, you're not going to have any problems. The only way that I would say that maybe on board with what you get, it might not live up to what you think, is if you're a lunatic like me and you play spaghetti western music or surf reverb or stuff like that. Because, yeah, I mean, the reverb on this, while serviceable, it doesn't drip in the way that, you know, if a Princeton would, or a Blackface Fender amp. But I have no other complaints. Like, this thing really does sound great. It feels great. That's the other thing. I didn't notice like a big difference. And sometimes when I play through modelers, even if they sound awesome, it's not the same playing experience. That's one of the reasons why you don't see me using them all that often. I go through the effort of miking up an amplifier when I'm making demos, because the feel really is a big part of, you know, me playing and performing on the guitar, and this does a great job at that. So, you like to learn anything else about the Laney whole line, because now this is like just a Foundry one, I want to know about the higher end ones too, because this sounds fantastic as is. I'd love to hear what they have to offer going upwards up the price scale. So thank you again to Zounds for letting me borrow this amplifier. Much appreciated. If you like this and you were surprised by this, let me know. And also, if there was a favorite tone that you had in this, or if you have one of these things, also would love to hear from you in the comments section down below. But that's me signing off for today. Again, links in the description. You want to check out any of this stuff for yourself. But hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks for spending some time with me. Take care.